Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws sales are terrible. Quote, softer than expected. They admit it. They have admitted it. So, Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, you can correct me down below, has now come out and admitted that Star Wars Outlaws is just falling apart. And this also comes roughly around the same time that they admitted they came out and announced that they were going to be delaying Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is an admission that, yeah, that game sucks and it's not ready. In fact, they've pushed it over into another financial quarter, tax. So I do think that it's something to do with tax. I'm pretty damn certain of that, quite frankly. They moved it from November to February, and I bet you anything that is for tax reasons. So let's take a look. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn those bell notifications on. I'll leave this article link down below, but let's take a look, right? This is from the horse's mouth themselves. So Ubisoft has admitted that sales of Star Wars Outlaws are softer than expected. Alright then. So in a document providing new financial targets for financial year 2024 to 2025, Ubisoft drastically cut its net bookings projections for financial year 24 to 25. It's quite a lot, from 500 million to 350 to 370 million euros, not dollars, sorry. I mean, that's really bad. That's not good. All right, that's staggeringly bad. Now, the company explained that the main reason for their bookings being cut by up to 30% is, quote, a reflection of decisions taken for Assassin's Creed Shadows, so yeah, and the softer than expected launch for Star Wars Outlaws. Now, this is an unusual. This is what I mean by confirming the tax reasons. This is an unusual thing to do. You wouldn't be moving Assassin's Creed Shadows into a new financial year, and thus, having a reduction in bookings if there wasn't some sort of tax issue going on. But then also if it wasn't ready. I reckon they will be minimising some things and changing some things. It'll all come out in the wash. We'll hear all about it. But, yeah, not good. And the most comical thing is, of course, Star Wars Outlaws. One of the biggest franchises in the world is now, terrible. Like, you can barely crack the top 40 charts, which is what has happened with Star Wars Outlaws. The top 40 PlayStation chart, this is, it's just teetering on the edge of 39. So Ubisoft then reiterated that sales for Star Wars Outlaws were not good. The company shared, quote, despite solid ratings, Metacritic 76, and user scores across the first party and Epic stores, 3.9 out of 5, that reflect an immersive and authentic Star Wars universe, Star Wars Outlaws' initial sales proved softer than expected. They didn't have good targets to begin with. So the company's main goal to fix this is to seemingly debug the game before Christmas. Quote, in response to player feedback, Ubisoft's development teams are currently fully mobilized to swiftly implement a series of updates to polish and improve the player experience in order to engage a large audience during the holiday season to position Star Wars Outlaws as a strong long-term performer. You know what's interesting about that? Is the bugs were really apparent in all the critic reviews. You could see them all. So why didn't they do it straight away? Like, what? What are you doing? We've known about bugs for actually quite a long time. Very odd. Very, very odd. The company also plans to release the game on Steam November 21st. So that's again them sort of succumbing to defeat there. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot also commented, quote, our second quarter performance fell short of our expectations, prompting us to address this swiftly and firmly. With an even greater focus on a player-centric gameplay-first approach and an unwavering commitment to the long-term value of our brands. Right, yeah, sure. So the company plans to launch a review. Beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the Executive Committee, under the supervision of the Board of Directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher performer model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. Now, what's interesting about this, right? I just sort of had an epiphany, I guess. If this quarter's... Because, you know, they say here, right? Our second quarter performance fell short. Now, if they've moved Assassin's Creed Shadows out into a new financial year, or at least a new financial quarter, and that sees a relatively high output for sales, they can then compare, and the headlines can be, oh, you know, we've earned X, Y, and Z percentage above our previous quarter. We're growing, right? I mean, this is how these kind of headlines work in the short term. So I bet you I'm right on that. I bet you I'm right. So Gilmour concluded by claiming the company does not have an agenda, despite its commitment to diversity, inclusion, and accessibility on its website, as well as its apparent illegal mentorship which discriminates against men, among other policies and actions the company have taken. Yeah, sure, nonsense. And this is what it says. Finally, let me address some of the polarised comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. So why did you make the playable character of your game absolutely rancid by comparison to the model that you based it off? Like, what are you doing? And why did you put Yasuke, the BBS, Big Black Samurai, in feudal Japan of Assassin's Creed Shadows and push a narrative of this is absolutely 100% history, even though it's absolutely 100% not history, and we know that. So, yeah, I mean, this is gaslighting of the highest order, obviously. So this confirmation that Star Wars Outlaws sales are soft is no surprise. The game has basically fallen out of the top 40 most popular PlayStation games. Like, it's literally 39th position. Apparently, it's about 55% lower than Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So yeah, not good. I mean, this is disastrous for Ubisoft, and it makes sense. I mean, their stock is absolutely tanking into oblivion. So yeah, don't really have too much else to say on this, to be honest. I mean, it's just nonsense. Star Wars Outlaws is dead. Kathleen Kennedy has destroyed the brand, and no amount of good gaming will resurrect it, I don't think. Not that Outlaws is a good game, to be honest. And again, to sit there and claim, oh, we're just going to fix some bugs. It's like, mate, you could have done that before you released it. What are you doing? Anyway, there you go. Thoughts down below. Let me know. And if you like what I do here, support the channel further via Patreon. It's linked down below as well. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.